What's up, everybody? This is Kurt H. I am the Lazy Farmer, and I am back with another episode of Run 8. Yep, you know what? I haven't been around. I've kind of busy last week, and never really. By the time I got home, I was just whipped, drained. I'm not feeling like streaming, and I know you guys are waiting for some content. I actually had somebody actually ask me, "You haven't streamed lately. What's going on?" I just had to take a break, and then I just played. And to be honest with you, I hooked up with some friends, and we played Railroader multi-purpose. Tested a lot of mods. Some were like, "Okay, we're gonna go run with this." Some weren't. But anyway, that's for an episode of Railroader. Today, it's about Run 8, and the content that I have is, this is base gameplay. So basically, it's when you buy the base game, $50 from Run8 Studios. This is what you get. What you're going to see is what you get. You get the needles. You get Barstow Yard, which is kind of what we're looking at right now. And then you also get the Mojave sub as well. And there are, out of the Barstow Yard, as of right now, there are only two. I think my last video I said there's three. There are only two locals that run out of the Barstow Yard. Oh, excuse me. Pardon me. Lunch is coming back. But I want to say that there are more locals, but they go down the Cajon sub, and we don't have the Cajon sub in this version. We're just doing the base gameplay. So pretty much anything that's going to be going down the Cajon sub is going to get tied to probably BNSF heading toward not Bakersfield. No, it would be. I'm going to send it down to, since we don't have Cajon, I'd be safe just to send it off to San Bernardino. That's the word I'm looking for. San Bernardino, and that way it just goes off map, and then the cars disappear. We're done with them. So we're going to focus on just the two locals that run out of Barstow. One heads east down the Needles sub, and then the other one heads west down the Mojave sub, or north-south, depending on whichever way you want to call it. I say east-west. It just makes more sense to me. Anyway, even though physically it's probably north-south, but I just say east-west. That's just me. So one of the things that I want to talk about is just base game. And I guess what I want to do is I want to go over, hey Mike, what's going on, man? I'm going to be tabbing out. Also, I've got two monitors and my tablet. I'm looking at the stream and chat on tablet. What's up, Bob? How we doing? And K Mike is here, and so welcome, guys. Glad you're in the stream. I'm going to go over basics, okay? And at the end of the stream, I'm going to tell you what I found that is a must-have. It is a must-have, absolute must-have for brand new Run 8 Train Simulator players. So and then I will change title and add links and everything probably later on this evening after the stream has been updated and all that kind of good stuff. So we're going to start with just sort of the basics of what we can expect. And let me tab out of this. But I got good stuff. It is good stuff, I'm telling you. All right, so we're going to cover also in future episodes, we're going to be covering things like the external assistant. That is a must-have. The external dispatcher, also maybe a must-have. It's getting better. I played with it earlier this year, and it was all right. I mean, it didn't really make me want to go out of the dispatching screen, but it actually, hang on a second, I want to pull something up for you. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. When I say dispatching screen, I'm talking about this right here. This is the dispatching screen. If you hit F3 and you get to see this, once again, this is not a map. This is how you can see the trains moving, and I'm also looking, and we're going to come back to this, but I'm looking here and I see a lot of red, a lot of train stop, a lot of congestion right here. I've been playing around in the Barstow yard wondering, why am I not seeing that many trains coming in or going through? There's just a lot of congestion. So, and can I get up here? Let's see, F1, I think. There we go. Yeah, auto's on. So, and we're not in ABS mode, so that's automatic. If we flip the switches, the lights turn green. No, auto has full control. So we're going to leave that there, just like that. So we're going to let this go. We're going to figure out later on how to fix this and some other issues that I see. Those people that are been long-term Run8 players already know, right? They see 3 things that need to be fixed, and it's probably what's causing a lot of this congestion. 4 things. I just saw a 4th one. Okay, anyway. So that being said, let's move on. All right. So for the new players, what do we do? You get in. I mean, I said this last time. I'm going to go over a little more detail. I think this is going to be a lot better off. We've got some cars that look like cars. We've got some cars that look like Run8 cars. I didn't show this, but if we do left control and F1, this is the train maker upper. And if you click on freight locomotives as an example, anything that's blue, like this right here, the C449W Run8 variant, that means you have that in your game. Okay, if anything that's grayed out, you can call up, but it's going to look like Run8. So we have a Run8 GP40. If you call up the CSX01 right here or the CSX02, 2 different variants of the CSX GP40s, it's going to look like the GP40-2 Run8. Okay, so motivation to get the DLCs, but that's up to you. The DLCs range from anywhere from $8 on up to $40. Depending on what it is you want to get. Do you need all the DLCs? No, you don't. Okay, and I said that in the last video on this. If this car right here is supposed to be a tank car, and you drop it at a location where it wants a boxcar, it's not gonna turn. It's not gonna get worked. The industry is just gonna sit stagnant. But if you put it where it's supposed to go, and it's supposed to be a tank car, then it will still work like a tank car. It just looks like a Run8 boxcar. If that is clear as mud, give me a thumbs up. Anyway, I can't see chat, so if you are chatting with me, I apologize. I'll do a catch up on that later. So, what do we do? Okay, I've got this, and this is what I did. Be honest with you, this is something that I went through when I first started, and I'll go over my story again here. Looking for a train simulator. I didn't have room for a model railroad, and so I was looking for the virtual model railroad, and everything I looked at was all scenario based. Okay, and I'll say it again, it was a scenario, and it was, how can I say, you drove a road train, point A to point B. That was it. I wanted more. Okay, I wanted industries to work. I wanted freedom. Is I guess the word I want to use. I wanted freedom on with a train simulator. And Run8 as just to this day, I have no idea who it was that mentioned it to me. It was in a video. I was watching YouTube, checking out a lot of these different train simulators, looking for something to pull the trigger on. And one individual just made the statement of, it's a good simulator, but it's no Run8. And at that point I went, what's Run8? Never heard of it. No, and so, yeah, I ended up started doing a search on Run8, started watching some videos on it, and it had the freedom that I wanted. The one individual that I followed and watching his videos, he worked local industries. He worked road trains. He showed how to configure industries and configure some aspects of the game, but it was hit and miss all over the place. It was like little nuggets in all his videos that I had to glean and bring together. And then on top of that, he was a real railroader, so I started to learn about railroading. And that was enough for me. I'm like, okay, I'm going to go get Run8. So I dropped the $50, bought Run8, and I'm looking at this going, what do I do next? So I decided to go out to Needles, grab a road train, and then promptly started breaking couplers because I didn't know what to do. Through those mistakes, and I always say I make the mistakes so you don't have to, through all those mistakes and everything I started diving into, I had to teach myself Run8. Does it have a very high learning curve? Absolutely it does. But it's worth it once you learn how to do it. So we have to assimilate. We have to assume that three things, okay? And what we're going to assume is that if you are thinking about getting Run8, that you're going to buy the base game. You got to have it. No matter what subdivision you want to work, you have to have the base game. So we're going to assume that you have purchased Run8 version 3 and you have installed it on your computer. Next, we're going to assume that you have a basic, at the very least, a basic 101 key keyboard and a 3-button mouse. Okay, so left button, right button, and the wheel. It's also assumed that when you purchase the game, when you purchase Run8, you copied and kept the email that was sent to you that had the license key attached to it, because you're going to need that. All right, and we're going to talk about that as well too. And the cool thing is you only have to authenticate your software once, and then even as you move it from hard drive to hard drive to hard drive, it will authenticate. And I'm speaking from experience because I have done that. So let's get out of this right here. Give me just a moment. I want to look, make sure. I'm going to go ahead and exit this. All right. So now we're looking at the dispatch screen. I'm going to fire up Run8 again. Bear with me while I do that, because I want to get back to the there we go. Let's see what we got here. Cool. Okay, we're good. You might have had a black screen. If you're not, you might be seeing the dispatcher screen, and then shortly you should be seeing. If not, I'll fix it here. Yep, you're not yet. Hang on a second. Let me adjust something. Nope, that's not what I want. That's what I want. There we go. Okay. So, and there's a reason why all that happened. I'm going to come back to that in just a minute because I'm shooting this from the hip. But right now what we're looking at is the launcher. This is not the game. This is the launcher. Okay. And there's a couple of pieces that I want to point out. When you launch Run8, this is highlighted. That's exactly what you want. Okay, we got Union Pacific, BNSF, Southwest US. That's all we have. These down here are the different divisions. You got the Needles subdivision, you got the Mojave subdivision, and you've got Barstow Uramo. Barstow is the hump yard. Do not click those. You want all three of these loaded up. So when you highlight this one, leave these unhighlighted and click on select scenario, then you're going to pick all three of those pieces, subdivisions, maps. And I've got TLF, the TheLazyFarmer Redux, whatever you want to call it. That's the one I'm going to select right there. That's the save game that I've been running off of. When you first load up, you're just going to have the default route session or the version 3 busy Barstow, January of 2018. So go if you want to see a lot of trains go through, and if you want to see that same mess that I'm looking at on the Mojave sub, go ahead and click that one. And you'll get a lot of trains going through the Barstow yard as you get used to things. And it's kind of cool to see those trains go through. It allows you to do some rail fanning, and you actually get to see some life on your map. So we're going to go ahead and now we're going to launch this particular. We're going to choose our save game, or you can choose one of those two, and we're going to launch it. Okay, and we launch it by clicking on that select scenario. So once we get it, now we're jumping into the last save game that I had, which was actually late last night. I was doing some work here in Barstow. That's why it's dark. I'm going to leave it like that for a reason. We're over here in the purple. You can see all the trains that are on the 3 maps are dropping in right now as we speak. So, but the question becomes, what do we want to do next? Okay, so I jumped a space ahead. Hang on. I'm going to... I don't want to exit the desktop. I want to... Where do I want to go? I'm missing something here. Oh, load save screen. Okay, I'm going to go load save screen. We're going to go train. Okay, and what we're going to do, this is the easiest thing to learn how to operate a train. Don't worry about anything else that I've done. I'm going to get you into the point where you can operate a train and go, and that's the first thing you want to do. You want to get in, you want to jump in, you want to operate a train. So, and if I haven't said it, we're going to operate a train. Anyway, we're going to jump down until we find, say, let's pick NBY. Here we go, NBY WSP9. Let's pick this one. We're going to go ahead and select that train. Okay, and then our next thing is we want to go ahead and, well, I don't want to spawn this. Actually, hang on a second. I do want to back up. No. Hang on. Bear with me for just a moment. I picked the wrong thing. Sorry, guys. Go train. So skip the section where I said that we're going to go into the save game section. You want to go into train at that one. That's the one we want. I want to make sure you guys are seeing the same thing I'm seeing. Of course you're not. So I'm going to, there we go. Okay, now you're seeing the same thing I'm seeing. So, and now we're going to go find, you can look for that NBY, the Z train, NBY, WSP9. You can pick any of these. I'm just choosing this one, and there's a reason why. Okay, and it's a minor reason why. It's no big deal, but I'll come to it. We're going to launch it. At that point, we're just going to launch that. All right, so here we are. There's our train. Okay, and I'm basically using the WASD keys, moving around, hold down the shift button. You move a little bit faster, hold down the control button. You can move really fast, but we're going to walk up to the train. And then our next piece, we're in the simulation, we're looking at a train. What do we do now? This is what this is where I was at when I first started Run8 for the very, very, very first time. And what we want to do is we can enter the train, left control and F11. You can also put your cursor on the side and hold down the left F11 and just click on the train. It'll put you right in. So we're inside the cab. We're looking at 2 hard stops here. What do we do? So F12 puts us back on the ground. These are functions that you will learn. And we got all these cars back here. So basically, and then that's it. Just walk around and get a look and see what the train looks like. But now what do? We got the train. What do we do? Well, what we're going to do is we're going to highlight, click on the center. Same thing with the cars. Click on the center. The train turns red. You hear a little bit of air escaping maybe. And then you're going to hit everything right up here on train line, hit everything right here that says auto. Just go right down in a clockwise motion, or counterclockwise, and just hit auto. Just click on everything. Right here where it says engine, it says starting. We're going to wait for that to start up. It said stopped. I don't know if you guys saw that when it changed. This is basic. Most of you probably already know this. This is for, once again, for those people that have never played Run8. All right, let's take a look at chat real quick here. All right. What's up, Quincy? How you doing? Good to have you in here, man. Good to see you. Okay, I'm going to tab out of the chat so I can get back to looking at what I was looking at. So, all right, going back to the train, we've got it's running. Okay, handbrakes. We want to look at that. Handbrakes. Everything else, you don't need to worry about that right now. That's later on as you start becoming more advanced with Run8. All right, started the train. Next thing is, well, we're going to get back in. We're going to jump in and let's go ahead and hit that left control and F11. It puts us right back in the cab, and ooh, it's all ugly pink inside. So just click anywhere, makes it all go away, makes the menu go away. And if we scroll back on the wheel, we can look and we can see all the controls. What do these all do? You will learn. You will learn. So anyway, what we're going to do is we're looking around and we want to get this beast going. What we did by starting up the locomotive the way we did, it started all locomotives. Not only the ones at the front of the train, but if we have anything in the back of the train as well too. Those are all now running. That was my big mistake. When I first started playing Run8, I clicked on the locomotive, got the menu, and instead of hitting start all locomotives, I just hit start on the lead locomotive. And I had, well, let's see, I think I had a 4x2, which means I had 4 locomotives in the front, 2 in the rear, and I had that one locomotive running. None of the others were running. None of the others I was in control of. And I was trying to drag that entire train out of Needles toward Barstow. That's uphill. No wonder I broke couplers. So, all right. So what we need to do is we're looking, let me go scroll into the screens here. Red, handbrakes on. If you hit F5, you took off the handbrakes not only on the locomotives, but on the entire train. All right, so then we're going to do either on your keyboard, 101 key keyboard, you can hit insert to go forward, or if we go back twice, you can see we can go in reverse. It says reverse right here. It says forward right here. If we look over here, there's our reverser down here. You can see it moves. We're going forward. We're set for forward. All right, and then to release brakes, we do right control end and right control page down. It releases all the brakes. Another thing we can do too, Shift Z brings up the HUD at the top. You can tab through it, look at all the different HUDs that we have available. I sit on that one, so it shows me forward, how fast I'm going, what notch I'm in, my brake cylinder, how much air I've got in my brake pipe, emergency reservoir, main reservoir of air. That's the kind of stuff. And that stuff we'll get into later. And then the next thing is we need to throttle this baby up and get moving. So we're off the brakes, we're off the handbrakes, we're set to forward. And now the notch, it's going to be on the number keypad on the right-hand side of your keyboard. Just hit the plus sign. And you're going to start seeing the amps build down in the traction motors. This is on your locomotive, but it's also happening on all the other locomotives. And you can look out the window. We're actually moving. A couple of taps on the space bar. We got a horn, we got bell. We got EOT moving, but we got a problem. We got nothing but reds. So right control home and page up. Goes full brakes. That's known as emergency. You can also hold down the home key without using the control key and slowly apply your brakes. 10 to 20 pounds should be enough to stop the train. But it is heavy. It's going to take a while to stop. Hitting the right control home and right control page up goes full brakes is the closest thing to going into emergency, other than hitting Shift F5, which just slams on everything. Kind of unrealistic, and all your cargo that's in all those cars in the back would come up and slap you in the back of the head. So anyway, moving forward. Well, not we're going to move forward in this process, not the train. So now we need to figure out how to get the lights. Well, one way we can do the lights is if we go to dispatcher and engage auto. Okay, turn him on. I like to render in center screen. And we can go DS menu. There's a way to do it through the radio as well too, but that's a later episode. We can tone dispatcher. If we hit Shift F12 and then E, we can fly out. So fly up, we can go left, right. We're going to request a signal and we're going to wait for him. He's acknowledged. We've got a signal red on top. We're ready to go. So he's flashing us. He's giving a signal up here. Proceed on signal indication. So left control F11 puts us back in again. Right control end. Right control page down. Plus key. Let the amps build. And if you look out the window, we're starting to move. Guess what, folks? If you're brand new to Run 8, you're now driving a train. So remember, small moves. Okay, small moves. Use the brakes as you need to. Also, if you tab through, like I was saying, on the right, left shift and Z, you'll come to where it says track speed. Why am I not seeing it? Oh, I got the wrong glasses on. That's why everything's all fuzzy. So track speed is currently 55 from what I see. Yep, it is 55. So we can go ahead and get up to 55 miles an hour. And we can slowly start notching up. So don't exceed the track speed. You can derail these trains. Can happen. So anyway, that's it. That in a nutshell, that's it. Hitting F3 shows this is your train right here. Red is your long train. You're taking up 3 to 4 blocks here, and that's your number. If we do F1, we can go show symbol. There's your symbol. So if you're not sure but I mean the BNSF 8367. So escape. We are 8367. There's our number right there. I thought there was a number printed somewhere else, but I guess not. Not in this locomotive. Sometimes in other locomotives it will be up here, but on this particular one, it's here. It's here on the multifunction display. We're gonna cruise real slow because I'm chatting and I can't drive a train and talk at the same time. Also, track speed is now 25 miles an hour, so we're at 20. So I don't want to exceed that. All right. What's next? Well, nice gentle curve right here. I kind of want to talk about something a little bit unique. And I have 2 monitors. A lot of people nowadays, your computers, you got 2 monitors. There's a way that you can actually run 2 versions of Run 8 on your one computer and have one be a local host for a server so that the other version on your computer can sign into it, and that way you have an active dispatching screen on one monitor, and then you have the actual game on your other, or the simulator on your other monitor. Pardon me, I was taking a drink of water there. I talked too much. Quincy will tell you that. So what we're going to do at this point is I want to we're going to do the whole, and this is why when I do exit to desktop, why you guys all of a sudden my dispatch screen pops up. And that's because I actually have another version of the game simulator running on my other monitor. I want to get back to the actual thing. So I need to launch. First of all, I want to launch that. There it is. Okay. And then I need to get over here, and let's find this one. Okay. So what I want to do is I have the UP BNSF Southwest. I have all three of these loaded, and then at this point I am going to go into the world, TLF, Lazy Farmer, redo, launch that, and we're going to sign in to that. Now, what we want to do before we sign into that is we're going to sign in, and this is the thing. We're going to walk through this part very carefully. So the part, and I got my notes here. That's why I'm looking at my tablet, because all my notes on what to do are here. All right. So I'm going to try to be as descriptive as I can. So we have a folder. Whoops. Let's say it's called Run8 Studios. In that folder, we have Run8 Train Simulator V3 _ dispatch only. And dispatch only is all in capital letters. Doesn't have to be, I just did it. Okay. And in that folder, there is my Run8 installation. The Run8 executable file is in that folder. I'm going to take that folder once I have that game installed into that folder. And you can do it the reverse here at this point. You can actually install the game, call the folder Run8 version 3, and then you can copy it. This is the fun part about Run8. You can copy it into like your desktop or into the root of the drive, and then change the title to just say if your initial install was Run8 version 3 _ dispatch only, the other one's going to be just Run8 version 3. That's it. Okay. You want both of those to be in. They can both actually be in the Run8 Studios folder, so you can move and drag and drop and just move it in there. Doesn't affect it at all. Now what you're going to do is you're actually going to go into the dispatch only screen, and you're going to pick the same game that you just saw me pick, but before you launch, down in the lower right hand corner is a button that says server only. Click that button, turn that on, then launch it. You're not going to get any of the 3D, you're not going to see trains, anything like that. It's the server. When you buy Run8, you get a server as well too. And once you're into the server, go hit F2 and go to the network menu. So F2, this is your network menu. To host, I have TLF, 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 TLF. You guys can't get in because I don't have the IP address. I'm not giving you the IP address. But you can put in here anything you want. You can change your port to anything you want. I just left this all the same. Per user, all, anarchy, anarchy, anarchy. This is just for you. This is just single player for you if you want to run a server and have a dispatch screen on one side, on one monitor, Run8 on the other monitor, and you literally want to go back and forth from being train crew to being dispatcher. Why would you do that? Well, you can control switches. You're the dispatcher. You can control lights. You can, if you want to give your train priority and you got another train coming, you can reroute it. It just gives you some more flexibility, and it's actually pretty cool. I usually delete lost client trains, crew interaction on that, just out of habit. Allow renumbering off. Disable auto and automatic signaling. No, leave those. I'll leave those off. And then at that point, you just click host session. Not going to do that because I'm going to join a session. But that's what I've got. And so once you go into host session and it's in server only mode, all you have to do is hit F3 and you bring up your dispatch screen. But before you hit F3, go down into, I'll show you the menu. You want to go to graphics, go down here to multi-monitor, and once again, this is on the version of the game that you've labeled dispatcher only, and choose which monitor you want it to come up on. So, and it'll come up on that. When you click on it, it'll come up over on that monitor. So now you've gone into F2, or you can click on the menu like I just did. It's at F2. All right, and you click on host, hit F3, your dispatch screen is on that monitor. Now on this one, this is my regular game. It's not in the it's not the executable file from the dispatch only folder. This is the executable file from the Run8 Train Simulator version 3 folder. And what I'm going to do is the same thing. I'm going to go F2, but I want to hit client. And I've already done this. And I'm showing you this. I mean, I got my password. This is all local. You mean the IP address 127.0.0.1, that's local to your machine. It is not a routable IP address. Everybody with a computer has that IP address. It is only local to your computer. And of course, all this is all set up. And then all I have to do is join session. You see, you look in the background, it changed from night to day. Things are populating. Looks exactly the same as what it was because it was the same. It was the same save game, but I'm now connected to my own server that's running on the same machine I'm on. That's being controlled on the other monitor on the dispatch screen. So if let me go in here, and so if I look at it, I can go. There's my dispatch screen. It's on the other monitor. You guys are looking at my second monitor. So, and I was mentioning before, now we're going to get into some things that are on the dispatch screen. On this page, on the Mojave subsection here, I saw 4 errors. Those of you that are experienced are seeing these 4 errors as well too, and they're already pointing, they're already screaming. I know Quincy is probably jumping up and down, banging on the table, punching his monitor, calling me all kinds of names. I haven't looked at chat, so I don't know. But anyway, the pink can mean one of 2 things. It's either a switch has been thrown against the main, or someone's taken mainline authority and hasn't relinquished it, because they're either not done with it or they forgot to relinquish it. Well, since it's just me, that's not the case. And so we want to go and look at that. Well, how do we do that? All we have to do is hover our cursor on that block and hit the space bar, and we're going to jump to that location. Make sense? So the same thing, we're going to do it on our game screen. Jump, hover, and jump to that spot. Boom. Now we get to go try to find where the switch is. I'm thinking this is okay. And so what you can see, reason it did that is because I hit Shift F12 and I can now fly. And right there's a red. Now watch this. I'm going to fly over, and oh, I got an error. Knucklehead error. Must be on ground in order to throw switches while on network. Well, F12 puts me back on the ground. When you're playing solo, you can flip these while you're in the air. When you're signed on to a server, whether you're doing it locally, whether you're doing it on the Mateo server, the Depot Plus server, you have to be on the ground to throw those switches. So now that we found that switch, which was lined against the main, in other words, it was set to reverse, not normal, we go back and we can look at our dispatch screen, and that pink is gone. We got another one down here. Let's do the same thing. Let's go jump over there. Oops. All right, let's go Shift F12. So W, move your camera around, up, down, left, right. That one is set to normal. Let's go down here. I'm tapping on the left control. It's making me fly pretty quick. And okay, so we have a little siding right here. Let's get on the ground. Put that back to normal. Green is normal, red is reversed. Go back and let's look at the other one's gone. It's just disappeared. It was there, it just disappeared. Okay. And so we've got two more. Let's go down here by Palmdale. Hover. Let's go take a look. So left shift F12. This one looks good. I'm going to go this long way. This may not be the right way, but I'm going to go this long way just in case. I seem to remember it was down here because I've done this before. The save game is not from me. It is from the developers. All right, I don't think I'm in the block anymore. So I'm going to go back the way I was. So it's from the developers. They did this, and then they just save it, and they gave it to you, to me, to us. We just need to fix it. All right, we're going to go look for that switch that is more than likely set against the main. And it's not that one, so it's probably going to be one down here. Oh, look, I have a train. And I have two red lights because I'm looking at a train. What's he looking at? A red. Palmdale. Okay. I'm looking at Palmdale. I know exactly where I'm at now, too. So he's probably got a red because of that pink, so it is the other direction. Both those switches on that Palmdale sighting were set to normal. So we're going to fly down here until we find another switch. Or maybe we might have to take a look. If we can't find a switch, it might be a mainline authority issue. Let's take a look. Keep on flying. Oh, I forgot about this cement plant. And there it is. Red. Right there. So I'm going to go F12, left shift, and W. Do not throw the switch. Another train is currently lined over it. Who's lined over it? I'm looking at the dispatch screen. Nothing's lined over it. Now I can switch it. Okay, that's fine. Weird. All right. So that has now allowed me to do it. And that particular pink is now gone. And we got one more over here. I think I see it already. There's red right there. I don't know if you guys can see that on your screens, but I see red. I see red. Red! All right. Do not throw that switch. Another train is lined over it. Who is lined over it? Okay, now it's not. Okay, fine. It's being finicky. All right. Will it go away? There it goes. The pink went away. So, all right. So we've got all the errors cleared up. I'm starting to see trains move. So we'll see how all this clears out. I'm going to let it go, see what auto can do. Sometimes auto's good, sometimes auto's bad. The ongoing joke is auto drinks. All right, let's go. Let me tab back into my screen. Let's look at what's up, Captain Ron. How you doing? I'm looking at getting that. Not a whole lot being chatted right there, but that's okay. Now I'm looking at chat. So, all right. What else was I supposed to do? Oh, hump yard configurations. So I kind of went over a quick start guide, kind of went over how to set up a local server so you can have, if you have two screens, you can put a dispatch screen on one and then your, oops, hang on, exit, there we go. And then the game on another screen. So when that one, you just got to take my word for it. I'm tabbing in and out of the dispatch screen on the game screen so you can see what it is. But I'm going to try something here. If I'm looking here, and let's look at these switches right here at Cameron. So I'm going to go to Cameron right there. And I'm going to turn off Auto DS. And you just saw how this lit up on my screen right here. You didn't see my cursor. That's because I'm on my other screen. And I just flipped it to yellow, which is green. Now I hit it a second time. It's now green, which opens that block up all the way through to the next red light. And then if I click it a third time, you'll see it's changing to gray right here. And I can even put my cursor on it. And let's say that switch right there. If I, oh, I'm on the wrong screen. Ha! There we go. All right. So it's looking at these lights right here. So which are back to being red again. So if I want to play with it again, I'm over on my dispatch screen. If I click once, see how we got a green light? And auto routed them over diverging. I don't know why he did that. But then if I do it again, it's still going to stay green. So diverging clear, and then if I hit again gray, it's gone to, you see. So I'm actually controlling it. Let me get into here. So I'm going to go back over, and now you can see my cursor over here. Wish I could show both screens. I need to, you know what? That's my mistake. When I set this up, I should have set it up so I could show you both screens. So this is really kind of mute. Just trust me, it's working. I wouldn't steer you wrong. I would even help you out too. So, let's see. Here we go. I'll just turn that off anyway. Okay, so all that being said, I mean that's what you can do. You can play dispatcher and run a train at the same time. Control the lights. If you're going to play dispatcher, just turn auto off. The interesting thing is, I'll show you this. I have up here, auto is off. Now auto's on. Auto's off. Auto's on. This is just for the Mojave sub. If I hit F3 again, I'm in the needle sub, I can turn auto off. But if I can hear a Barstow, auto's on. Back to the Mojave, auto's on. Needles, auto is off. So if you want to play dispatcher, just disable auto on all three of those sections, or all the map sections. If you're Bob, I'll use SP Bob there. He loves it when I get on the Roseville map, because that's an area that he loves. It's an area that I love. Now I can sit there and play dispatcher with my second screen, this was something, I'll be honest with you guys, hand to God, I just found this over the weekend. I didn't even think about trying this. I just found it over the weekend, and it works great. So, all right, let's get back into, I'm going to go ahead and let's get rid of that screen so you can see the simulator screen. I am going to hit F3 on the game screen. I used that one so that I could jump around to different areas. And in this case, I got a train coming in. Let's check this out. We're going to jump. Where are you? Ah! I was almost going to die. You would have seen the death of TheLazyFarmer right there. Alright, so left shift F12. And go up. What have I got coming in? What have I got coming in? I think this one here has a whole bunch of... Oh, I called for this one 2 days ago. And it finally got here. Let's see, left control F8 twice will give me all the tags. Green tag, empty cars. Red tag, full cars. LQ53, those are cars going to perfect. You know what? This is actually going to be perfect. I'm glad this train's coming in. I'm actually going to do, it's time for the earth part of what I said I was going to do, which was base gameplay and talk about hump yard configuration. So I did the quick start for new players. I did show you also too how to have the a dispatch screen on a second monitor. We'll let this guy come in. Any trains that I have, I'm going to make sure I link nothing I have here. Okay, so what the first thing I want to do, playing out, I want to get over the hump controller. Now the hump controller on any hump yard is going to be near the hump. In this case here, it's represented by this shack. Where the yellow sign is right there, if you guys can see that, that's the pin puller section. That's where the cars pop and go down. And yes, Quincy, that's where they're supposed to go, like they were in Railroader. I'm just saying. Anyway, I don't know. Speaking of Railroader real quick, I may put the hump yard back in again. After I went to bed and had a chance to think about it, I know a couple of other guys aren't going to run with it. I was expecting it to be like Run8, and it's not. It's completely manual, and as I wrap my head around it, it's still going to be time consuming. And I started weighing in my mind, in Railroader, which is going to be faster? Is it faster to manually do the hump yard, or is it going to be faster to flat switch? I think it's a flip of the coin, to be honest with you. And the hump yard will give you some more options. Anyway, but that's when I do the Railroader stream. And I'm just saying, you one that is in transition era, then you got the other one which is modern. You know, that's a good point. See, and that's the other thing I was considering too. This is modern. This is computer controlled. This is back in the days. I just found a video that was back in 1960s Southern Pacific hump yard operations, and yeah, they had guys going between the cars as they were moving, pulling the pins to break them loose so they can go down the hump. You know, talk about a dangerous job. But now this is 1995. 2005 era, so it's all computer controlled. It makes sense, okay? And so, yeah, back in the day, transition era. So we're talking 1940s to 1950s, that era right there. Yeah, it's not going to be computer controlled. What's a computer? Something that's fancy that only the military had, if even then. And it would take up, it wouldn't fit in this little shack, that's for certain. Wouldn't even fit in this building over here. Anyway, I digress. So once we're near hump yard configuration, once we're near the shack, the hump yard is going to be left control and F6. I am not running any depot configurations. Okay, that's the other thing I'm really why I'm liking this so much is because I didn't go to the depot's website, and you can if you want, and download their configurations. I'm coming with what just the developers had set up. And and Run8 is so configurable. Make your own. Seriously, make your own. So, and as we scroll down and we look at in the background here, back here in the background, this is the bowl, and these numbers correspond with the tracks in the bowl. Now, for simplicity, they just did 01 through 26. In reality, it's 101 through 126. But who cares? 1 through 26 works just fine. Something that I did last night. You'll see I have this down here. You can put anything you want in here. Okay, anything that you want. And so I put local and or old yard, lcal let 1161 and lcal 0611. These are the two local numbers that run out of Barstow. Okay, why? And they were actually up in here. It doesn't really matter, but they were on this line right here, on track 12. So I was getting like the YBAR 101, YBAR 1012, YNEB 101, all this stuff here. Phoenix, I forgot what CDZ stands for. All this stuff. This is stuff that goes either. Well, all this stuff is going to be going. Thinking here, going east, southeast. So Phoenix means it's going to be going out through Needles, going out to, when you get to Seligman sub, it goes out Seligman, and then continues on to Phoenix. So all these cars here basically are going to be a part of that train until I find out what YBAR 101 is or YBAR 1012. Not sure what those are, but we got cars for that. Right now, they're going to go on a train to Phoenix. With having just Needles, Barstow, and Mojave, it's very simple. The cars that are labeled 1161 or LCAL 1161 and an LCAL 0611, those are the ones that you have to look for. This one goes out the Mojave sub, and you work 3 to 4 industries out there. This one goes out the Needles sub, and you don't even have to go all the way out. You're only going about halfway at the most, and works 3 to 4 industries out there. So it's a lot of rail riding, and then you get out to the industries and you work the industries. Future episode. But I didn't want that to be a part of this train here. I wanted them separate. Right now I got all these open tracks. Any car that comes in with this, I want it separate. Why is it here? Why is it on 19 and 20? Well, that's easy. You can pull up the maps. They're very helpful. You can pull the maps up off the depot's website and look at it, and you'll see that these 4 tracks where my cursor's at, this is the local yard in Barstow. And that these 3, 6, 10 tracks, okay, 3, 6 plus 4 is 10. These 10 tracks are almost directly connected to that yard. So basically it's a quick pull out and then push back in. Future expansion, we add the Cajon subdivision, which I think I'm going to be doing that here in a couple days. Now we got to worry about what trains are going to be going out to the Cajon sub. Namely, there's a large train that can go out to Victorville, and you can drop that. And there's several locals that work. There's a local that works out of the Victorville, but there's 3 locals that work out of the Barstow yard that head toward Victorville. If you want Victorville, you got to get the Cajon sub. So now you've got Needles, Cajon. But right now for this is just the base game. So I pulled these 2 out, set them on their own track, those 2 locals. Set them on their own track right there. And once you have, just erase what you have in this line, type what you want in here, but you got to have that tag, because that tag is going to be on those cars. Don't worry about the industry side of it. Just worry about the tag. And once you have those set, you enable it. Anytime you push a train, or a train pushes cars over the hump into the bowl, it'll sort the cars, and those cars with those 2 tags are going to get sorted down those 2 tracks. Then you just pull them out, put them in the local, grab a couple locomotives, one on that end, one on this end. This side would head toward Mojave. That side would go on out toward Needles and go work the industries. And then bring back whatever you got to bring back, and then you just come on through, drop them in the receiving yard, put your train over here in the engine shop, which is over there, and then have your hump unit locomotives, push them over the hump to sort out, and so they can go to their proper destinations. So that sounds easy. It is easy, but it's also time consuming because it's railroading, and nothing in railroading is ever fast. I agree with you, Quincy. Yeah, I'm echoing. I think you and I are preaching to each other's choir. We'll just put it that way. We agree to agree. So anyway, so this is the train that just came in. We got a lot of cars. I chose, okay, the LS 910s. That's another one I got to configure. That's why I said, oh good, I'm glad this one came in, because now these are actually going to be cars that will end up going, and I have to look it up, but these will be cars going to Bakersfield. And in the Bakersfield yard, let's jump over there real quick. So go down Mojave, Bakersfield yard. The Union Pacific Bakersfield yard is up here, and the BNSF Bakersfield yard is down here. So we can just go jump to it. And we're going to fly. And if we look, we got a lot of work down here too. But down here, these 3 tracks are the interchange tracks. I think it's actually these 6, but these are all, this is interchange. So this is the Bakersfield yard, this is interchange. This interchange is between Union Pacific and BNSF. Union Pacific, if I can fly to it, is right here. That's how close they are. Here's the Union Pacific yard. This is Union Pacific right here. We got some UP stuff sitting over here. So here's Union Pacific yard. This right over here is San Joaquin Valley Railroad. I will be putting an enhancement in there because the San Joaquin Valley locomotives don't look like the San Joaquin Valley locomotives, which is in the area where I live. So I'll be doing that enhancement, but you'll see what they look like. They're actually in the default, they're really quite ugly. And in fact, I think, now I'm thinking about it. Go freight, let's see. I'm looking. Those are not it. That's not it. Once again, everything that's blue, we have the livery for. Anything that's gray, not. I'm looking real close for. Oh, we do have it. Okay, SJVR. This is the default for San Joaquin Valley. So I might as well go ahead and drop. Let me go over there. So between BNSF, just an idea for operations, for between the BNSF and Union Pacific, that's what the interchange. You got the crossovers come on in. You just basically pull in, and you're going to drop BNSF cars here. I mean Union Pacific cars here, or Union Pacific goes the other way with their BNSF cars and drop them down there and bring back. You know, they work together. They have track rights. But right here, if I do this, let's say, all right, so I just added, highlight that, click add, it adds 2. If I right click, one's reversed, okay, and then I'm going to place the train, and there they are. So that's what I'm saying, that in the base game, they're actually quite ugly. And this is not what they look like in real life. And I do have an enhancement for those. So I will probably be installing that enhancement because, like I said, it's just where I live, and I want to see what, I want to see what the locomotives that I see. So I see BNSF, I see UP all the time. Now I want to see the San Joaquin Valley, which I'm really surprised is even hanging on. Oh, look at this BNS. Oh, that's right. This is the BNSF yard. Look at this beast. Mid-train. DPUs. That's a monster of a train, but that's normal, what we see in the area. Anyway, so let's go back to Barstow. All right, anybody got any questions now? We'll see what I can do about answering your questions. And no, Quincy. I don't know what it is, what you're thinking about asking, but the answer is no. This is the departure yard. North departure, south departure. So these trains are slow popping in because it's coming, it's coming from the other, well, from the server that's running on the machine. You would think it'd be more instant, but it is what it is. It's all right. It's still working. Other than that, I now have those two locomotives that I got to pull off, along with these two locomotives that I got to pull off and take over and put them over here. I got to work these. So there's lots to do. You got locomotives to work on the engine house here, the maintenance. Doors are only open on one side. This one's not open. So you can do pass through, but you can store in here on the other side. Let's see. You got fuel here. Sand over here. Those are loaded. I think we need to look to see if those are industries and how quick they turn. But yeah, you can make those industries. So there's even so you got a yard local there as well. So other than that, that's pretty much it. I'm hoping this gets you started. Now the last piece that I want to talk about, and there's more to it, I'm going to bring it, is something that I found over the weekend. And I'm going to put it after everything's all settled and this this particular live stream has been worked on by YouTube and it's clear to make changes. I'm going to add a link to a website called Run8guides.com, and I said it at the very beginning of the stream that if there's any one thing other than Run8 that you need, get the Run8guides.com. You need that. It's vital. Okay, it will help you. It's got that quick start that I went through. It has the step-by-steps on how to turn, if you have multiple monitors, how to get those how to do what I'm doing here, having a server running locally on my machine and I can play dispatcher while I'm driving the train. So it's also a way to that second instance, if I wanted to, I could actually open my machine up and let people sign in. Instead of using the 127.0.0.1, I could actually put in the IP address from my machine and give that to friends, family, or perfect strangers if I wanted to open that up. I'm trying to understand spawn points and how trains exit and enter the maps. I love Run8, but it's confusing, like Bakersfield sub is Stockton a spawn point or exit, or how that works. Okay, great question. Let me explain it to you this way. Let me pull up. So I haven't added Bakersfield, any of that. When you add Bakersfield, you'll go as far as the Calwa yard in Fresno. It doesn't go all the way up to Stockton. Trust me. If it went to Stockton, you know what? That's what everybody's asking for. Why did they do Southern California and then they come out with Northern California, Roseville, when between the Calwa yard where Southern California stops and Roseville, you have the Fresno and Stockton subdivisions. And I always get this backwards. One is for BNSF, the other one is for Union Pacific. They literally can model that one subdivision and it would connect Southern California to Northern California. And then I think it's the Mariposa subdivision for both of them, I believe, I have to go look it up, heads west and goes to the San Francisco Bay Area and Port Richmond, Port Oakland. So if they ever go all the way down to San Diego and Long Beach area, and if they do that Stockton area and the Mariposa, then you're looking at having basically intermodal come in from the Port of Oakland, Port of Richmond, going south down and going and connecting to the Port of Long Beach, plus other freight, things like that. To get back to your question, this is the Mojave sub. So going back, we're starting in Barstow. Cajon, if you send a train, actually I'll use Cajon first. So if I leave the south departure yard here, the train's going to head up this way and go out. And if it's heading down, down to LA, it's going to take the Cajon sub, and we'll just say it's going to take the Cajon sub for argument's sake. But since we don't have it right here, right here where it goes to CP Hodge, this is the end of the track. As soon as the train hits the end of the track, it just disappears. That's it. It's gone. It doesn't destroy anything. It just disappears. So pretty much, if you're in your question about Stockton, if you're going to send a train to Stockton, and you have the Bakersfield sub, that train is going to leave Barstow, go down the Mojave sub, go out through the Bakersfield sub, go to Calwa, and then just north of Calwa, the tracks end because that's where the map ends. And when the train gets to the end of that track, it's just going to disappear. And then you just have to say, okay, I made it to Stockton. If any trains are coming from Stockton to Barstow, then the spawn point for that is going to be somewhere near the end of those tracks, and that train will spawn there on the spawn point. The spawn points, if we look at Shift F2, I forgot. I wanted to get in here, but I'm in the server, and I have not given myself rights. So anyway, but I can look at some of these spawn points here. So example right here, UP Yermo. Okay, UP Yermo is going to be Barstow, this area right here. So these tracks, we've got a train coming out of the Union Pacific Yermo yard anywhere now, but they're going to come down this way, and then main one goes this way along here. So these points connect here. So if we go back and I hit left shift F2, come up and we do UP Yermo, and I can go to the spawn point, spawn a train there now. It'll be something random from this list. If I want to do mixed freight, I can click on that, spawn now, and it'll spawn a mixed freight there, which I just did. North Platte to West Colton. That's going to be a pass-through train. So if you want, like the train that we saw come into here, this one came from Needles. It's based off of tagging, and I'm hoping I'm answering your question. So Beleen, I think, was BEL stands for, but BAR is Barstow. And I called for this train on the 20th. So it came in at the Needles yard. Okay, well, came in at the end of the Needles track, somewhere down in here. And it's like this one started in Needles, and the red is where the train's at. Green is where it has been given authority by Otto. So you can kind of tell it's heading in this direction, but somewhere down here is where that train is going to spawn. How close that spawn point is to the end of the track will determine the length of the train. If you say and you can drop spawn points, and there's I don't know which one of my videos had it, and that's a good point. I will come up and do one again about it. It's one of the ones for Mohawk Selkirk that I did, in setting up trains and configuring different different supply trains for different industry and different industry locals. So that's how that works. So somewhere on one of these two tracks is the spawn point. The spawn point is going to be where the lead locomotive lands. Everything else is going to be behind it. If the spawn point is real close to the end of the track, that train is going to be very, very short because whatever else is being called won't fit on the track and will be deleted or truncated. If it's farther down, say if I drop a spawn point right here, then I can potentially have a train as long as this whole section based on if I want it to be a unit train, mixed freight, and if I do mixed freight, I always build one that's going to be bringing freight for industry somewhere on the maps that I have, if that makes sense. I hope that helped you. The other thing too is, and this is for anybody watching, and you watch later, I do have a Discord channel. The link is in the description. You are welcome to join the Discord channel. Drop in, leave me messages there. I'm usually either going to be in the Run8 channel, which I got to configure because everything there is for Mohawk Selkirk, which I don't have that one set up yet. I'm starting brand spanking new, and it's all about helping people that are new to Run8. But there is, once I get my new machine, which I'm buying the old one off my daughter, that one's going to be dedicated to Mohawk and Selkirk. So, but I do have anything that I talk about on any of my Run8 videos, I believe it should help you to be able to 7833 passing stop and proceed signal. Where are you? I just got that, saw that message. Not there. 7833 is right here. I'm thinking he's heading this way, and I got a train heading this way. I got one, Atchison, Topeka, and Santa Fe, 1802 is coming this way. So this is slowly getting cleaned up. I still got this mess here at Cable. These are all waiting to come over to the Tehachapi. So anyway, let's see, make sure I'm trying to understand spawn points and how trains exit and into the map. I love Run8. It's confusing like Bakersfield sub is. Okay, so yeah, I think I covered, and I hope that helped. But like I said, I mean, join my Discord. Today was a short day at work, so I happen to be online right now doing a stream, and I didn't do a stream all weekend because I was pulling my hair out on Railroader. Other than that, I wanted to get something in to help, and this is where I'm at. So, let's see, how long have I been on? About an hour 20. It's about long enough for this video. This is a good one. But yeah, definitely, if you can leave me a question in my YouTube channel, or you can join my Discord channel. That's all right. Just follow the rules. Join in. Drop me, once you're in, drop me a direct message or post something in the Run8 channel and questions. And if I can't answer it, I know Quincy, he's a Run8 guy. He can do it, and Captain Ron's a Run8 guy, so he can answer it. So anybody else that's in my Discord channel can actually answer the questions as well too. Oh, gamer, I'm going to tell you, you're not wrong. It drove me nuts. I'm right there with you. That's why I'm doing these videos. I spent. Well, I said it at the beginning of the video. This is my virtual model railroad. It's so much fun. It's so open world. Think of it this way. If you have a model railroad, you can only do one thing at a time. All right, and you can walk down into your basement or your spare room, wherever you have that model railroad, and you just ask yourself, what do I want to do today? Maybe I want to run a road train. Okay, let me go spawn a road train at Needles. And whether you pick one of the save trains or you create your own spawn, which, let me get out of the, you know what, let me drop out of this server here real quick. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Oops, wrong one. I'm going to bail out. All right. So I'm off the server now, so I can actually show you what I'm talking about. Shift F2. So now the AI train menu looks more like what you're seeing as a single player. Here is your spawn points or your start of it. Make sure it's enabled. If you don't want a whole bunch of trains coming in, disable this. Minutes between AI spawns, minimum of 15 minutes to a maximum of 37. Number of trains that could be that you allow on your model railroad, I have it set for 99. And train symbol timeout hours 24, which means that if I call for a train or one randomly spawns and it happens to be, say, well, you know, that one from North Platte to West Colton, okay, that train will not repeat again for 24 hours, and that's 24 real hours. Because remember that when we go in, if you hit date time and go use system time, you know, and you come back after 3 days, you could get that same train again, but it's going to have that dash. Oh, I appreciate that, man. I appreciate it. What's up, James Tonic? How you doing? Ah, man, good for you. Well, it's a good one. It's got some tips and tricks. I think you might like it, James. But anyway, that you can, all that is, once again, it's all configurable. So imagine the model railroad of your dreams. Wish I had that dream music. And you go in and you go down to your basement or go to your shop or wherever it is, and it's like, man, I want to drive a road train. We'll get back to that. So we're going to pick an AI. We're going to pick a spawn point. So spawn points, and I'll get into how you can create your own spawn points later. Okay, not for the purpose of this discussion. So all the sliders are your probability. The more probable those sliders are to the right, the more often those trains that are behind this is BNSF Needles Main 1. So just remember, Needles Main 1 right here. Okay, this is Needles, the middle one's Needles. This is Needles Yard, but this is Needles here, Main 1, Main 2. So that spawn point's somewhere in this area. So Needles, Main 1. There's Lenwood. So I mean, all these were all configured by the developers when they were testing the map as they were creating it. Deleting a spawn point is just as easy as clicking on it and click the delete button right here. So if you want to get rid of some of these spawn points, you can. I wouldn't recommend it. Don't. If anything, take this slider, move it all the way to the left. Okay, because that'll take your probability down to 0%. You won't get any trains coming in from Needles Main 1. All these like this, these are all at 0%. So that they're not going to get any trains there. But let's say I want to get a train from the BNSF Sambor siding going westbound. Okay, I'm going to click that spawn point here. Still needs to be configured. Oh, okay. So we're going to go to train type. What kind of train do we want? Mixed freight, supply train. Okay, if you're going to do a pass-through, you can pick like unit train, unit oil, unit coil steel, unit coal, whatever you want. These unit trains, if you want it, you can create one that's just a pass-through. But if you want something to come into Barstow and and something you can play with over the hump yard, you want to go mixed freight. And then you're going to go train symbols. Still can't do it because you don't have any train symbols. See this right here? I was actually going to click on spawn, but there's no train symbols here. So you click on add it, do a train symbol. Let's see. I want to take a look and see where Sanborn is first of all before I do it. I want to make sure. Looking real quick. I think Sanborn, now I'm thinking about it, is in Mojave. Sanborn is Mojave. All right, so I want it to go eastbound, Sanborn. Okay. So I don't want that. Go back to train type and Sanborn eastbound. Train type, mixed freight, train symbol, and let's do an add, and we'll go here and we're just going to add something. This will be, since it's BNSF, all caps, M dash, let's say it's coming from, well, STO, Stockton, okay, to BAR, Barstow. Easy as that. Stockton to Barstow, okay? And then do a dash, and we can do hash marks after that. That hash marks will automatically put the day of the month that you're in at the end of that. So you get an idea. You can look at it, and if you want, say you wanted to do multiple trains out of Stockton, you can do a 1, BAR1, BAR2, BAR3. That's okay. Auto's going to look for this last tag right here, BAR, and know it's going to Barstow. BAR1, and that's a whole nother stream on how to configure that. But this is already configured in. So, okay, next, what do we want? Well, we can do anything we want. Say this is a train coming from Stockton to Barstow, and we're going to have it. It's, for some reason, it's going to stop in Barstow for inspection or something like that, and going to, I'm thinking, let's do just CHI, Chicago. All the cars in that train are going to be tagged CHI. Okay, but remember, this is supposed to be a mixed freight. We're calling it in for our industries. So we're going to do tag for industries. Yes, you see this grayed out here. And now we're going to go to filter. Everything in here is turned off. You can select your industries that you want. Definitely want this one and this one. These are the two that run out of the Barstow yard. If you have the Cajon sub, you want this one and these three. Those go to the Cajon sub. If you have the Seligman, which continues from Needles east to Kingman, Arizona, you can add KGTR, that's Arizona. The LOP 53s, all these right here, the LOP, LOQs, LS, all this, that's Union Pacific. So now you got cars, now you got a reason to, to drag cars from Barstow to BNSF Bakersfield to interchange with Union Pacific Bakersfield and let them handle the cars. So same thing, RCal, do all these. Anything you do will be added to that train. Since we don't have Seligman, we can add this in. This is a Kingman one. This is the Vulcan. Oh, we have the Vulcan plant. That was that one plant where when I was fixing the switches. YBK50, that's out of the Union Pacific yard. This Y-BK50, that one, I need to go look at the industry and change that, but we'll call for that as well too. And once again, something else. Y, West Colton trim. We don't have West Colton. San Bernardino, if we want cars to swap out and send towards San Bernardino, we can do that. And so on. And say we just go with that and close it out. Now those are all set. Once we, and what kind of locomotives do you want? Well, let's go with, say we want all ES 4400s. We're a fan of those. That's all we want, or we want all Dash 9s. Right now the Dash 9s are just Run 8. We don't have that pack. So, but if I go ES 4400, I can say, okay, I want all BNSF, or I want Let's go BNSF Norfolk Southern. I might get a mixture of power that's been loaned to me. Okay, but if you just want solid BNSF, just check BNSF. And then when we're ready, spawn now. That's it. Done. And you look up here, it's placing a train, spawn a loading train, you know, and oh, I didn't do this. If you want to do loaded, you can hit loaded, so every car is loaded. If not, when you're filtered out by industry, it'll bring up cars based upon the industries that you have and what they need, whether they're loads or empties. So, okay, so we got M-STOR-BAR-. Okay, we can go back here. There's our train right there. We can transport right to it. There it is. There's our train. 4 locomotives. AI has it. M-STOR-BAR-22 days and 22nd. AI means that it's computer controlled. He's going to run a red. Or is he going to pull up and stop? Let's see what he does. If he runs a red, but we can go and he's coming to a stop because remember we don't have. Oops. Auto is off. So, and I'm not connected to my server. So what I can do then is, if we find where he's at, Sanborn, this is him right here. I can single click on that. Oh, wait a minute. Nope, stop signal. I'm going to right click on it, give him a lunar. No, it's not him. Wait a minute. Oh, 7657. Yeah, oh, that is it. Okay. Signals unavailable. I clicked on it and now it's got about 20 seconds. I think it's going to reset. What I did there too by turning it blue like this, okay, I've actually gone ahead and flipped the switch over so he can start down the track. There's his horns. You can see the switches. I'll go down there. See, they're now reversed so that he can come off the siding. I get impatient on the lights. He's got a flashing red, so he can go ahead and proceed restricted. And away he goes. And there's your train. Now we got a whole new train coming in. Oops. Nice long train coming into Barstow. With more cars for me to push over the hump. Great. What did I just do to myself? Anyway, I hope that kind of answered your question there, buddy. Midtown Rails, what's up? Glad to see somebody still involved with Run8. Don't see that much anymore. Yeah, you know what? There are a lot of people out there. Don't get me wrong. I mean, every once in a while I get on the Mateo server, and his server's busy. I already have somebody that messaged me yesterday and said that as soon as my server goes live, let them, put the link up. With what I just showed today in this video, I believe that on one machine, I could effectively run 4 servers. So I could have the, I literally, based upon what map you have loaded up, you can access the Moselle server, you'd access the Southeast, which would be Fitzgerald, Baldwin, Waycross, and A-Line, Southern California servers, or the Northern California server. And that's the one or even, no wait, there's 5. I forgot about Northern California and then Pittsburgh Line East. So, and that's the one that hurts the most because I love the Northern California. That's where I grew up. That's where I would ride trains over the mountain all the time. Fell in love with Southern Pacific in that area. Yeah, and that you don't see a whole lot of that server anymore. So, and that's kind of where I lead. I lead toward the servers that nobody else is running. So Moselle was one. The NorCal one would be another one I'm definitely going to run. I just got to wait for the new machine to come in, which means I got to wait for my daughter to actually send it to me, which she's slow at that. Anyway, I didn't say that out loud, did I? Explain Run 8 to me like I'm 5. Train go, honk, honk, move down track. I find that in reality, there's some people that are very confused, and if I'm speaking down to anybody, I apologize. But I am coming from the perspective of, well, what the gamer went through. It works for me. I could be like your yard master, Quincy. Take paper, read paper, go train, go that way. There. It works for knee. The knights who say knee? Okay. But anyway, no, I'm trying to take something that has an extremely high learning curve and explain it in such a way that people can go, oh. And I know the biggest mistake that I made was when I jumped into Run 8, I looked at it like every other simulator, like farming simulator, any kind of game out there. There was a defined set of rules and you operated within those defined set of rules. Not in Run 8. Run 8's wide open. You can configure it to your heart's content. Mohawk and Selkirk servers on this Mohawk and Selkirk maps are pretty wide open. It's like, to me, it appears like they made it and then they kind of forgot about it. On the Depot Plus forums, people are calling, hey, can you give us some love because there's some problems with it, and there are. They need to come back and revisit it. Are they going to? I don't know. They got a lot on their plate, and what they've done over the last couple of years, there's this nice chart that explains everything they've come up with for the last couple of years, and I looked at that and I went, you know what? I'm not giving them enough credit for what they can do for guys that this is not their only thing. You know, it's almost like they're doing this in their spare time. So if I, in the process of me trying to explain Run 8 and through the experiences that I've had trying to get going with it, if I'm talking down to you, I apologize. Okay, but I'm trying to help anybody and everybody. My ultimate goal with Run 8 is to build the community. It is, in my opinion, it is still. I mean, I look at Railroader, which is brand spanking new. Everybody goes over there, and I did the gamer thing. It's brand new. It's wonderful. It's the best thing out there. You know, and I went over there, and then I came back and I did this. I said, you know, I'm going to go back to Run 8 and start fresh with just the base game. And I'm glad I did. It kind of reinvigorated me to Run 8. And I am not trying to be that fickle gamer. Heck, I've stayed. I mean, look at me. I play Lord of the Rings online. That's 17 years old today. And I still play it, and I've been playing it for 10 years. No, I take it back, 14 years. I started playing it 3 years after it launched. So I've been playing it for 14 years, and I don't go away. I'm not that gamer that comes along when something new comes out. So Railroader is great. Don't get me wrong. I'm not blasting it. It's great. I highly recommend play it. But it's a different animal compared to Run 8. Run 8 is your, as I just explained on how to spawn a train. I want to run this train right now. I can click on it, tell it to stop, and stop immediately, and it does. It stops immediately. That's like turning off the power on a model railroad. You know, and then once he's relinquished it, all I have to do is click on it. It's running. All the engines are running. I can go and I can hit all these keys again if I want. Doesn't hurt a thing. Okay, and then left control F11, I'm in the cab, and now I can run this train. And on my virtual model railroad, I can drive this train down my tracks. This is a scenario that I created for myself. I don't have a developer somewhere that's faceless, nameless, going, here is your scenario. In Run8, the scenarios you have are the ones that you create. Next day, I go into my basement and I look at my virtual model railroad. What do I want to do? You know what? I want to work industries. Well, I need cars to work industries, which means I need to work the hump yard. Let me go work the hump yard. I got a train. In fact, you go look at Barstow. I have a train sitting there. I got to pull out, put a locomotive on, and I got to take out toward Boron and work the Borax plant, Edwards Air Force Base, and North American Mining. So I can work those industries. The next day, I come to my virtual model railroad, and I want, and this is what I'm going to do, air quotes, okay, I want to work scenery. What's scenery? Scenery is doing what I just did. I created this train. I need another supply train to come from somewhere else and to get to Barstow as quick as possible. So I need cars for industries. I want to create more trains that are going to go through the map that are just pass through to create some life on the map. Or gee, you know what? I mentioned that Y-BK50. I need to go find that industry and fix that tag. That's scenery in Run8. What do you want to do in Run8 that day? That's what you do. Run8 is the real deal on operations. Absolutely it is. And the big rubber stamp that says you're fired. That's funny. Your Run8 is, when it comes down to operations, it's the real deal. This is something that I'd like to start on Run8. I want to start it on Railroader as well too, and I did this when I was younger with virtual model railroading, or real railroading. Model railroading is I would go around and I didn't have room for I'm going to go ahead and AI this thing and send it to Barstow. I didn't have room for a model layout. And I met a guy and we just started talking trains, and he's, hey, where'd all my, I know why I know why it's there. He's like, come to my house. I've got a model layout. You can help me work on it. I walked into his garage and he had a 3-decker in a 4-car garage. He had a 3-level model railroad layout. And then once a week, him and his club would meet at everybody's house doing something different. We're gonna go over to Bob's house. What do you need? What work do you need done? Do you want to run trains? No, I need scenery in this area done. Okay, what do you need? I need trees. I need bushes. I need buildings built. I need track laid. That's what we do. Okay, unfortunately, you can't lay track and build buildings in Run8. I wish you could, but that's another thing. But it's still being able to completely configure an industry, and you go look at a cement plant and go, you know what? I don't want this to be a cement plant anymore in Run8. You can change it and turn it into dynamite factory. You can call it whatever you want, give it whatever tag you want, and cars will come in. You tell it what cars you want to come in. I just wish we could change tracks and stuff. But you could do that if you ran a server. The server's so lightweight, you could run it off your machine, and your friends and family go, hey, it's Saturday. What do you want to do? Let's play Run8 together. And I'll tell you, some of the best times I've had, and just a couple weeks ago, with Kung Fu Beer, him being the engineer and me being the conductor on the ground. And I was helping him clear out the La Mirada yard. That's fun. You can do that with Run8. You can do that with Railroader too, but you can do that with Run8. It's very, very flexible. The signal heads, not all of them, I wish they were all of them, but the ones that control how trains flow, there's a finite number of them. that's where those are configurable. So if you come up with a whole new tag, a whole new tagging system, which is what I did on the Mohawk and Selkirk servers, is everything was tagged for 1995 era CSX. I found all their current tags today, and I went through and changed all those tags in all the industries and all the control heads using modern day tagging because it made sense to me. But you can do that in Run8. Can't do that in Railroader. So they each have their place. Railroader to me is a game. It's got a money aspect to it. You get the sense of accomplishment, but you get a sense of accomplishment too with Run8 when you start moving cars and you start seeing how railroad logistics work. And it's like, wow, I just this industry's turning. Wow, more cars are coming in. I need more cars. Let's call in our supply train. I don't have enough cars for this local. Let's call in our supply train in with cars for that local. Whatever you want to do. Whatever you want to do. I have all of Southern California, but it's been a slow go. But you showed me something. I will try. I appreciate explanation. No, you're not talking down, and I am no old. I'm an old goof. I listen, but a lot of times I'm confused. You know what? I was confused too. Like I said, I'm right there with you. And even just this weekend, I've been playing since late 2022. And just this weekend, I found something. And like I said, when I'm done streaming, after it gets done processing up on YouTube, I'm going to add the link to the Run8 Guides webpage. And if there's any one thing that you need, get that guide. Get that, because it's going to go over what I talked about today. It doesn't go over the hump thing, but it does go over how to set up dual monitors so you can have your own private little server with a dispatch screen on one monitor, and you can be doing stuff on the other monitor, and you can watch the trains coming around and go, I got congestion here in Mojave, which I have congestion in Mojave. Oh boy, do I have congestion in Mojave. But you know what? Trains are moving. I'm looking at it. Trains are moving. So anyway, that's it from me today, guys. Once again, if you're not, if you haven't already done it, click the subscribe button, give me a thumbs up, helps the analytics. Share this out if you have anybody, friends, neighbors, families, like, hey, you like trains, we go rail fanning, you got to check out this train simulator. It's Run8, and you know what? This guy, he kind of knows what he's doing, but he's willing to help. So you can do that. Yeah, anyway, if you could do that, it'd be great. I will be back later on this week, probably Wednesday, I believe. I'm looking at now. Tomorrow's a long day for me. I have a full day at work, and then I've got, I got freshman baseball. It's painful. Wednesday is a partial day, but no, I have softball in the afternoon, and we're going to a different town, so we're traveling, so that's not going to happen. Thursday is a long day with varsity baseball, so that's not going to happen. Friday is a short day, but I do have baseball in the afternoon, or softball in the afternoon, so probably won't be streaming until Saturday. Unfortunately, that's why I took today to jump in. Normally, I've been doing on Saturdays and Sundays, but this last weekend, I just wanted time to play. Hope you all understand that. Anyway, with that being said, Midtown, thank you. Gamer, thank you. Quincy, always welcome in my stream. Thank you very much, James. And, oh, man, SP Bob, good to see you again, man. I didn't see you last couple streams. I'm glad you're still out there. Captain Ron, thank you very much. And K Mike, welcome back again. Thank you very much. You thought it was all default? No. What's going on in Run8, and I'll leave with this thing. Just think of this. They give you just enough of what they use to test the maps, and the rest is left up to you. And do they say that anywhere? No, they don't. I will tell you that. I mean, that's the one thing. If there's any one thing that I was personally going to work on, would be better guides. But this run8guides.com, go check it out. The guy who already did it, he took my idea. I didn't say it out loud. Maybe I did. I don't know. But he took what I was thinking of and he really created something very professional looking, and it's going to help you out. There's some utilities in there. External consist editor he talks about. The external utilities for Run8, that's something he talks about. Everything, pretty much everything I covered on this stream today, he talks about. That's kind of why I wanted to bring it up, because I wanted to go down that and get you guys going in the right direction. And once again, join my Discord. You're more than welcome to do that. Just select Run8. You'll see all the channels. And also if Railroader is an option, select Railroader as well too. If not, drop me a direct message in there. Hey, can you set me up for Railroader also? Because if you don't see me in Run8, I'm probably in Railroader. But if I'm streaming, I'm in a private channel so I don't get interrupted, because Quincy likes to come in and yell nasty things and make me cry. Anyway, guys, glad you showed up. Once again, subscribe, thumbs up, notification, all that good stuff. Have a good afternoon. I will see you next time.